The biggest name in Australian talkback radio, John Laws, died in his home in Woolloomooloo in November after a short stay in hospital. At the height of his popularity, Laws attracted 2 million listeners to his morning radio program every day, during a career spanning more than 7 decades. Just 1 year after hanging up the golden microphone, and yes, he actually had one, Laws passed away peacefully at the age of 90 and was honoured with a state funeral. Australian actor Julian McMahon died in July 2025, aged 56, after a battle with cancer. Best known for roles in Marvel's Fantastic Four movies and television series FBI Most Wanted and Nip Tuck, McMahon was known by Australians for playing Ben Lucchini in the television soap opera Home and Away. He also starred in the US series Charmed and Profiler and was named for a Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Small Screen Series for his work on Nip Tuck. Gold medal winning Paralympic cyclist Paige Greco passed away suddenly at the age of 28. Paige, who was born with cerebral palsy, made history in the pandemic-delayed Tokyo Games by breaking her own world record and winning Australia their first gold medal. Her sudden and unexpected death was announced to the public by the Australian Paralympic Committee, who noted her kindness, quiet determination and uplifting nature, as well as her exceptional sporting achievements. Richard Norton, the Australian actor, martial artist, choreographer and stunt coordinator, died at 75 in March 2025 in Melbourne. Born in Sydney in 1950, Norton studied martial arts as a child, training in judo and karate before working as a security guard. He later became a master in Muay Thai, Aikido and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He left behind a legacy of more than 80 films, including roles in Mad Max Fury Road and collaborations with stars such as Jackie Chan and Chuck Norris. In August 25, the death of 87-year-old British actor Terence Stamp was announced. While clearly not Australian, I'm including Terence here as an honorary Australian due to the outstanding impact of his work in the movie The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Terence's portrayal of Bernadette captured hearts, broke boundaries, and opened many Australian minds. At a time when LGBTQ+ representation on screen was scarce, Terence brought both strength and vulnerability to the role, earning international acclaim and helping to cement Priscilla as a cultural landmark in Australia. Perry Cutton, one of Australia's truly iconic fashion designers, died in April at the age of 73. Hailing from Melbourne, Perry studied fashion design there, then opened her first shop in 1981. She went on to become a household name, dressing generations of Australian women in her upmarket brand. Actor Henry Szeps died from Alzheimer's complications in July at the age of 81. A renowned character actor in Australia, Szeps appeared in many stage productions, movies and TV shows. Born in a Swiss refugee camp to Polish Holocaust-surviving parents, Szeps came to Australia at the age of 8, later starring in TV shows like Skippy, Homicide, Cop Shop, Kingswood Country, A Country Practice, Rafferty's Rules, All Saints, just to name a few. His best-known role, however, was in the TV drama Mother and Son with Ruth Cracknell. Known as a guiding light and a true gentleman, Col Joy was a pioneer of music in 1950s Australia. The first pop performer to reach #1 on the local charts, Cole spent his career not only performing music, but establishing a management, publishing and recording business, and established the first label to sign the Bee Gees. Another boomer favourite, TV chef Peter Russell Clark, died in July, aged 89. A former foster child and homeless person, Peter developed his knowledge of food by scrounging scraps from markets, making up meals and selling them. An avid proponent of healthy eating and farm-to-table even in the 70s, his TV show ran for over 10 years before he turned his hand to writing his 35 cookbooks, Cooking for the Royal Family and heads of state. Renowned character actor David Argue died from cancer in July, aged just 65. A stage, film and TV actor in Australia, David was often seen on our screens throughout the 80s and 90s. He starred in Gallipoli, The Restless Years, Cop Shop, The Sullivans, Corelli, Razorback, Water Rats and many more. I wonder how many of you will remember that he had top billing above Nicole Kidman in the 1983 film BMX Bandits. Country music legend and pioneer Chad Morgan died in January at the age of 91. Dubbed the Sheikh of Scrubby Creek, Morgan released his first album in 1952, then went on to release 17 more. Morgan toured Australia extensively throughout his career, before finally retiring just 10 months before his death. He was awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in 2004 and has a permanent exhibition in his honour at Childers in a country town in Queensland. Journalist and TV presenter Simon Townsend died in January from an aggressive cancer. Best known for presenting the children's afternoon television show Wonder World in the 80s, which provided a daily dose of informed entertainment for tweenies while still pushing social and cultural boundaries as far as possible. The show included a music segment which helped launch the careers of bands like In Excess and is fondly remembered for featuring Townsend's dog as his co-host. Townsend later created board games, more TV shows, TV lotteries, and radio shows. Best known for her work on Prisoner and Sons and Daughters, 85-year-old actress Leela Hayes died in January 25. Leela was seen on Australian screens weekly throughout the late 70s and 80s, appearing in Cop Shop, The Sullivans, Power Without Glory, and 20 Good Years, as well as her better-known work. Leela later reinvented herself as a radio personality on 2UE, then started her own acting school called the Leela Hayes Drama Studio. NIDA graduate, Sydney-sider and revered 80s heartthrob actor Nicholas Eadie died in January at just 67 years old. His breakout role in Cop Shop led to a plethora of film, TV and stage work, including roles in The Henderson Kids, A Country Practice, Halifax FP, The Man from Snowy River 2, Underbelly and Vietnam with Nicole Kidman, just to name a few. One of Australia's most beloved broadcasters, 93-year-old Roger Clemson, died in September, just a month after his wife. After moving to Australia from England at 17, Clemson did a stint as a radio actor in the 50s, then moved to television at its inception in 1956, eventually gracing our screens daily as a newsreader for over 30 years. Known as a consummate professional and utterly gracious, Clemson variously hosted TV shows such as This Is Your Life and Australia's Most Wanted, before retiring in the late 90s after a cancer diagnosis. David Stratton, the celebrated film critic and festival director best known for his on-screen partnership with Margaret Pomeranz, died in August aged 85. Another import, as we call it, David moved here from England in 1963 and was appointed director of the Sydney Film Festival in 1966. He began hosting the movie show on TV alongside Margaret Pomeranz on SBS in 1984, with the duo becoming a mainstay in Australian film culture. In 2004, the show moved to the ABC, where it continued in a similar fashion until 2014. Much loved and widely respected, David was considered a public intellectual, taking the greatest pride in his lifelong campaigning against film censorship. Motorsport legend Alan Moffat had Alzheimer's and died in November at 86. Yet another import we love to claim, Moffat migrated to Australia from Canada at the age of 17. Moffat won the Australian Touring Car Championship 4 times, the Sandown 500 6 times, and Bathurst 4 times. And if you don't know what Bathurst is and you like cars, OMG, go and look it up. It is unreal. And I'm telling you, it makes NASCAR look like kindergarten. Kimball Rendell, a founding member of the Hoodoo Gurus and before that XL Capris, has died at the age of 67. Much loved and lauded throughout the Australian music industry, Kimball was also a movie director. He worked on The Matrix Reloaded, The Matrix Revolutions, I, Robot, Casanova, and Ghostwriter. He was a music video director who worked with The Angels, Cold Chisel, Bull Crush Opera, The Rockmelons, Mental as Anything, Peter Blakely, and the Hoodoo Gurus. 41-year-old Virginia Giuffre died by her own hand in April 25, allegedly. The 41-year-old says she was trafficked for sex to Prince Andrew by Jeffrey Epstein on several occasions when she was a teenager. Virginia was a fierce warrior in the fight against sexual abuse and sex trafficking. Her book, Nobody's Girl, was released shortly after her death and tells the story of her sad life.